That's a brag right there.
For what, 4 years, 3, 4 years,
Uh,
and I learned
I would
something
say
new
longer, but never
every
tell a
time.
lady how old she is.
So yeah, it works. Just dive in and ask questions. We're here to help.
All right, good deal. Thanks. Um, okay, so tonight we're here to talk about artificial intelligence. We kind of got this idea in December. We were going around the room talking about what we wanted to hear this year. Um, but I will also tell you that I heard a guy last year talk about AI, and we'll kind of get into some of that. But what I'm intrigued with is the way we built the way we're going to do tonight. We're going to crowdsource this evening. So I'm gonna reach out into the room. I got a couple shills. I got a couple guys I've already talked to. I said, hey, okay, don't leave me hanging. You're gonna come up here. You're gonna give me a couple good ideas. But while we're doing this, if you've got something you're doing with AI that you want to bring up that you think is useful to the group, please bring it because this is all about us sharing information. All right. So one of the first things I like you to do, and I should have said this earlier so you'd have had a little bit of time, please hit the QR code, give me a scan it, let me know that you're here. Even if you've been here before, scan, let me know that you're here tonight. Here's what it's important to me because and if you're here with your spouse, have your spouse do it because you're telling me how many people I had. That's my record. That's me counting the room and saying I had 40 people here, I had 50 people here. And the reason I use that is when I go to speakers and I talk to speakers, and the first thing they ask me is, well, how many people are you going to get? And I like to tell them I got a good vibrant group of people, and I can get you 40 to 50 people. This is a nice room we got tonight. Tells me we've got a subject that you guys want to hear about, but it also lets me know to the next guy, yes, I can get some people in front of you that are going to be interested in what you have to say. So please scan it. I up front, I will capture your email address. Please give that to me. I will send you emails to let you know the meetings that we've got going. I try not to spam you. I did send out a couple emails this month about the Virginia Real Estate Investors Alliance, which we'll get to here in a minute. But I try not to spam you. I'm not going to try and sell you a bunch of stuff every month. If you don't want to be on the email list, if I'm sending you too much stuff, I think Chris said, hey, I don't use this email address, or I don't use this one, so I just took it off. All you got to do is tell me you don't want to be on it, and I'll take you off. Okay? But please sign in. Next slide there, Scott. Um, this is the alliance that we were talking about last night, the Real Estate Investors Alliance. I don't know what happened there. We lost the investor part. Um, This is a group that started up just last night. They had their rollout meeting. It's an alliance of real estate investor groups like this one. Thomas is a part of it. The Tidewater Real Estate Investor Group in Virginia Beach is a part of it. All the Richmond grids are a part of it. But basically, what the alliance is trying to do is trying to get all us together so that we can have a voice in Richmond when they start talking about changing laws. For example, this year there were a couple of laws that went up. One of them was rent control. They wanted to make sure that rent would not go up any more than your local county or your local city said it could go up. And even if your city or state or city didn't say anything, the state was going to put a max on it of 4% every year. You could never go up more than 4%. Um, that was shot down, but in reality, I mean, that's crazy. That's ludicrous. And I got to thinking, it's like, well, my only way around it would be every 5 years I'd have to kick my tenants out and tell them, go find someplace else to live because I'm going to raise the rent on this thing past the 4%. I'm going to get it to where market rent is so that I can continue to make my money on my investment. And there's probably several other ways that it's bad for the tenants and it's just bad for business. There's no business that's going to float if the government's going to get in there and tell you what you're allowed to charge. So that's what the Real Estate Investors Alliance is doing. You might hear me during the year letting you know what they're doing, and maybe we'll try to fundraise so that we can send some money up to the alliance once or twice a year, because they're going to be the guys spending money to influence the people in Richmond. Next slide. Okay, so next month we're going to be talking syndications. I don't know how many of you guys know Larry Pendleton. He's a CPA. He's a real estate investor. He's got his hands in a lot of different things. He's done a syndication that worked out really well for him. So we've asked him to come talk about what he's learning with his syndications and such. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. Now, what'd you see about what's going on with my slideshow up here? Did you catch anything on that? What'd you catch? AI generated. That's right. I went in and said, hey, give me a picture of some guy working a room with some real estate investors. So, bam.
So I'm using Christmas tree bulbs.
Is that what we got back there? Yep. Oh, you got one of those in the corner. I got you. That's not AI generated. That's real world generated. But it's there. Okay, next one. All right, so thanks for our volunteers. Kim, thanks for showing up. Where'd she go? Oh, she went to get some dinner. Here she comes. Okay. Hey, Kim, thanks for what you're doing. I got you when you were gone. So, and then Scott, we already thanked Scott for his piece with the AV to technology. We're still figuring this out. Hopefully we won't, we'll get it right. One of the things that our goal is to get this AV down so we kind of have a library, and then I can share it with you and you guys can go back and look at what we've done. I think people are going to be all over that November meeting now that after you talked about how well it worked. Yeah, so that's good for us. Next slide. Okay, so tonight we're going to talk about artificial intelligence and real estate investing. I got a quick brief overview. I got 5 slides up here, and then we're going to get onto the computer and we're going to show you how some AI works and how we've been using it in our day-to-day lives to make our life easier. I don't know how many people are still using Google and Bing and all that stuff. You open your computer and you go, "Hey Google, what's going on?" I've almost quit using Google. I've started using ChatGPT because it just gives me a more detailed response. If you've noticed, when you ask Google anymore, it's giving you an AI generated response already. So it's even getting better with AI. But you'll see when you get into the ChatGPTs and the other AIs, just the capabilities out there are unlimited. Okay, so the next slide. So what is artificial intelligence? Artificial intelligence is really, it's machine learning. The computer is going to go out there and scour the internet and find data. And then we're going to ask that machine questions, and as it scours the internet looking for the answer, it's going to remember 2 things. It's going to remember the answer that it found, and it's going to remember your question and how you asked it and what you asked. And then it's going to remember that. And then when the next person asks it a question, if it's related, it's going to go out there, scour the internet. It's going to remember what it found before, and it's going to influence the next answer. And as the computer continues to learn from this iterative question by us and research of the internet, and the answer that it gets, it's going to continually get better and better. I think to put one of these out, like ChatGPT, I think they said that they hire people to spend 5 years asking questions. I was wondering who that was for. Thank you. Can you get me an unsweet tea?
Okay.
Thank you very much. So where was I? It's machine learning. The other piece, and it's using algorithms. It's using data that it finds on the internet. It's using algorithms that programmers have put into the machine learning and automation to help it make decisions. some different types of AI. One is the machine learning that we talked about. The other was natural language processing. It used to be you had to ask it a question. You had to ask the computer questions in computer language. You had to use Java. You had to use Fortran. That's aging me. You had to use different languages for the computer to understand what your question was, so that it could come up with the answer and give it to you. But now, all you have to do is use whatever language you're speaking in. It doesn't, I was going to say English, but it doesn't even have to be English. You just ask it a question and it will look for the answer and it's going to pop it up. It will also do predictive analysis. It's going to find things in the future, and if 1 + 1 is 2, and 2 + 2 is 4, and 4 + 4 is 8, and 8 + 8 is 16, it knows what 16 + 16 is already. It's got that learning. It's going to do the predictive analysis. So that's where Zillow and things like that are scouring the internet, and they're going, okay, how's 3-bedroom houses, 1,200 square feet with a 1-car garage are selling for this. So now it's looking through this area that you just popped up on your screen, and it says every 3-bedroom house, 1,200 square feet with a 1-car garage is going to cost about this. Well, this one's 100 square feet more. Okay, my predictive analysis is going to say I'm going to add a little bit more based on my algorithm on what a price per square footage, and it's going to raise the zestimate for you. That's the predictive analysis that AI does for you. Next slide. All right, so in real estate investing, some of the very specific ways to do it's market analysis, property valuation. We already talked about that. You got Zillow, you got PropStream, you got a lot of Redfin. You got all kinds of these programs out there doing it. You got lead generation and deal sourcing. They're looking out there, and it's going to tell you, here's the houses that are liable to be going into foreclosure this year. These are the ones that we're going to tell you there's a lead for you. So it's lead sourcing for you. You can use it for tenant screening. There's programs out there that blanking out on them right now, but for tenant screening, we're all using them. Those are AI assisted. And then property management, maintenance and automation, Buildium. I use Buildium for my stuff. That really helps me out with a lot of the stuff I got, and they're starting to incorporate this AI piece into all these. What used to just be programs that added 1 + 1 is 2, 2 + 2 is 3, and then asked you, tell me what what your numbers are you want to add together. Okay, I got to put these in, and it'll spit out the answer. Now they're starting to use the AI within the programs themselves. So you've got the Buildiums and things like that using AI. So next slide.
You said Billiam?
Buildium, like building, Buildium. Yep. And that's Buildium is really, it's just a software that property managers use. You track your tenants. You can put all your files in there. You can collect your money, things like that. So we talked about a little bit. AI predicts market trends, property appreciation. It uses big data to find undervalued properties. It automates financial modeling for smarter investment decisions. Hopefully we can show you some of that tonight when we actually get into the program. Next one, or get into the deals. Okay, so without being too iterative, it'll save time by automating repetitious tasks. You don't need to keep typing in the same thing over and over again. It'll start doing that for you. Predictive analysis, tenant selection, property selection, and decision making enhanced through what we talked about earlier. The data gathering and the predictive analysis and everything that goes with it. Okay, next slide. All right, so now here's something to remember. Last 5 slides. Go back one. Did you notice how this slide's here got a little bit of cool stuff around the outside of it? This one doesn't. Okay. What I want to tell you, as I was going through AI, I says, how is AI useful to real estate investors, and it spit me out some answers. And I said, you know what? I got to do a briefing on this. I said, can you turn that into a 5-slide briefing for me? Boom! I had one in about 3 minutes. It was 30 seconds. I asked it a question. It gave it to me. It said, "Would you like to download a PowerPoint slide?" Yes, I will. So I downloaded the PowerPoint. I gave you the 5 slides that it gave me. I didn't change a word. All I had to do was try to get as smart as it was telling me, with explaining machine learning, explaining predictive analysis, explaining all this stuff. Which for a guy with a computer resource management degree, all by 30 years old, I had to learn a little bit to be able to put all that together. But my point is, I asked it a question. It gave me 5 slides. I gave it to you. You didn't know it was built by ChatGPT in 30 seconds. Now, I will tell you, if I was doing this, when I didn't want to have this discussion with you, I would have put some color to it. I might have changed some words around a little bit. I would have put them into my own, my own lingo, my own redneck, background, slap some of that up there for you. But the point is, it gave me those 5 slides. It gave me a briefing, and it took me about 20 seconds to do it. Now, I spent days trying to figure out how we were going to make tonight work, so it wasn't quite as easy as it sounds. But it was as easy as it sounds. Okay, so next slide. Not that one. Come on, come on now. Don't make you add in public. Come on, get it. No pressure, but you're messing it up. Okay. All right, so AI tools for real estate investors. We talked about this earlier. Now, the first 1, 2, 3, 4 up there are really what I would say are programs, are real estate. Well, we call them programs. Programs you buy and use. Tools. Okay, so. But they're not really AI. But what they are is AI assisted. AI generates the responses. AI is making them better at what they do. They used to be told, I want you to go out there and I want you to go to the Newport News real estate office, assessor's office, and reach in there and tell me all the houses that sold, and then I'm going to put them into Zillow, and then Zillow is going to figure out what the square footage was. It's going to average them, and all that's getting data, compiling the data, and putting it together. Where AI gets better at it is it can predict from the data that it's got and the way things are going. It'll be able to give you kind of a future look at things that were backwards looking before. So you got PropStream, Canva, Zillow, Redfin, HubSpot. Those are all programs. Now, when we start to get into how am I going to directly use AI for myself, the one that you hear people talk about the most is ChatGPT, because that's a real easy one. Just Google ChatGPT, open it up, boom, it's right there. It's going to work like Google. You're going to ask it a question. They're called prompts. You're going to prompt it to give you a response. It will give you a response. Now, AI is really kind of smoking its way into the future. There was a briefing I went to yesterday that a guy was doing. I should have wrote the notes down on this one, but disruptive services in the past, Netflix, for example, to get to 1 million users, it took like 9 months because Netflix had to email out the disc to everybody, and then you had to sign up for it, and then you would rent a DVD, they would mail it to your house and you'd rent it back. That's how Netflix worked at the beginning. And then AOL, they would send you a disc, and that's how you would get on the internet. For all you young kids that don't know anything about AOL, so you used to get on the internet because you get this CD, which was a really new thing at the time, and then you would log into the internet. That took like months to get to a million users. ChatGPT got to a million users in like 5 hours. There you go. I couldn't remember if it was hours or like less than a day, but it was just, you were there. Yeah. So it was this ungodly, just quick information is going so fast. And this is one of them that's going so fast. Did you know that it was, when did we learn to fly? What was the year? Anybody know that? Come on, somebody Google that real quick.
A long
19,
time.
not, it wasn't that long ago. It wasn't. 1905, was it? Something like that. We learned to fly, and then we're using airplanes in the First World War, dropping bombs like 8 years later. And within 60 years, we were putting people in outer space. That's in a century. We did all this, in less than a century. We're starting to learn exponentially faster. And so what's happening is, and this AI is going to put us into a whole new realm, I believe, because what it used to take us this long to learn, then it took us this long to learn the same amount, then this, and then it's just, we're starting to smoke into it just crazily fast. Okay, so the next one. Oh, we got ChatGPT. Google's got Gemini. Microsoft has Copilot. Elon Musk has his own Grok, and Apple has Apple Intelligence. So there's a lot of different ways you can get into this. All right, so how have I been using it? All right, one thing to remember, we talked about natural language processing earlier. This is something you ask it something in your native language, just boom, how do I do this? And it will spit you a response. You will do it like this. It developed the first 5 slides of this briefing. It helps me write ads for my rental properties. If I got a rental property, I say, write me an ad. My house is 1,200 square feet. It's 3 bedrooms, 2 baths. It's really nice. It's on a lake. It's got stainless steel appliances. Boom. Less than 30 seconds, like a second later, bang, here comes something really nice. How do I just grab it and throw it into, whatever I'm using to market my property. Here's something, somebody said, hey, I'm at this apartment complex I know for sale. And he's, how do you buy apartment complexes? I don't know. Let me call Miskovich because I know he's bought one. Or let me try this real quick and see what ChatGPT tells me to do. Well, ChatGPT says, well, apartment complexes, they're going to go off of this model, and I can't remember what it is right now, but go off of this, and this. Would you like me to help you do that? Yeah, okay. And then so it says, give me these pieces of data. Okay, here you go. All right. Well, the value would be somewhere in this, range, and you've got this ability to, improve the apartment complex, improve rents, and have a better apartment complex, and make money as a good investor. So we talked about prompts. If you have a very complex question, break it down into something simple, so it will give you responses back that are simple. And then also remember that as you do it, your first prompt and response is never really the one you want, because if you prompt it and response it, you can narrow down your response to something a little more useful to yourself. You might get exactly what you want the first time through, but I'll tell you, those slides weren't what I wanted the first time through. I said, hey, I need something for, what's AI? Bang, it gave me AI. I'm like, not really what I want. What AI for real estate investing? Boom. Okay, well, that's a little bit better. All right, give me AI for real estate investing in 5 slides. Boom. Okay, now I got something I can use. So it took me 3-4 questions, but I literally popped up with something that I brought here unchanged and showed to you guys. And it made me look smart. Like I knew, like I knew what I was doing. Unless you could find out, no, he's bullshitting that answer. He don't know what that bullshit means. Okay, next one. I don't know what else I got up. Okay, what else can ChatGPT use for? I think we're going to get some of that in this room today. Summarize the notes of a meeting, summarize large documents, generate leases, build plans, HTML for web pages. If you know a little bit about HTML, you can pop that in there. It'll spit out code for you. If you know enough about code to know how to use it once it spits it out. Image creation, you saw me do that. Social media posts, if you've watched our Facebook, you've seen some of that. Listing descriptions, your imagination is the key. All right, so I got Jared, I got Chris. Which one of you guys wants to hit first? You had some documents, right? How long you want to do yours, Jared? What? Okay, what do you want to talk about? Come on, get up. Come on up here and tell us what you got. You know, we're gonna prompt and response back and forth till I get what I need out of you. we're gonna AI. Only we're gonna do this with RI, real intelligence. Okay, so how do you use it? What do you do? This was your idea in December, by the way, right? I think it was. You sat right there and we talked about how you were. Okay.
You were the one that brought all this great stuff up.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'll finish.
Okay, so, all right. How's everybody? All right, so my name is Jared Dukes.
Here, let's do this real quick.
Yeah.
You know one thing, I think I had a slide up there. I must have slipped by it, but there was we're recording. We try to record our meetings for a library. If you have a question, I'll bring you a microphone so that one, it'll get projected through the sound system. Two, we can capture it with the recording. It's kind of annoying when you can see the guy standing up here answering questions and you know somebody's asking, but you can't hear it. So if you got a question raised, I'll come running as quick as I can. Here, pop this on your shirt right there. This is our microphone to talk with.
Can you hear me?
Yep.
All right.
All right. So how do you use it
Okay,
on a
so
regular basis?
I guess I'll cover that. How's everybody tonight? Was good? You look good. All right. I love that hat, by the way. That's very awesome. That is my style, so I'm getting into it. Okay, so again, my name is Jared Dukes. I work with a local contractor here, so talking like fix and flips and stuff. Right now, we're kind of focused on large scale rental properties, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk about how we leverage AI, most specifically ChatGPT, in our business. And yeah, I'm not an expert, so this is all new for me as well, but I thought I would kind of lend my experience to you guys, if that's okay. Good to go? All right. Hey, real quick, with a show of hands, just so I know who's in the room, how many of us have already used ChatGPT? All right, cool. Pretty much the whole entire room. All right, so how many of us have used ChatGPT to evaluate properties? Okay, cool. All right, great. So at least I'll have maybe some folks who could gain some new knowledge here. Hey, real quick, gentleman right here, I want me to call you out. What does your shirt say? You're right next to you. I love this. What does your shirt say?
I am the backup.
I am the backup. What does that mean?
It means like as far as since my family isn't like wealthy, to be able to be financially free, I have to be the next guy.
I love that. I love that. How many of us resonate with that? Very cool.
And I'll let it go. First thing I sat right here and didn't bring the microphone to him. That's my bad.
No, no worries, no worries.
My bad.
Did y'all heard that?
We'll blame you.
You all heard that?
Don't blame it on Kim.
Would you mind standing up? Show everyone your shirt?
Here, let's do that again.
Yeah.
Here. All right. So and tell us, you are the backup. What's it mean?
If you read the back, it basically means that
since my family isn't like wealthy, I have to like take over and create the financial freedom for me, my kids, and like my future generation.
Ain't that
So
awesome? That's who we have in the room. Let's give him a round of applause. That's
yeah.
cool. All right, awesome, awesome.
Thank you very
Thanks
much.
for that, man. Hey, so how many, just unrelated, but how many wholesalers do we have here? Wholesalers? All right, now for wholesalers, what do you use to evaluate properties?
Was that prop stream?
PropStream? I'm gonna have Stu run
Prop
it.
stream, Brad.
Okay.
Batch leads.
So is that pretty much what everyone does? What do you use?
What you got, John?
For our off-market lead generation, we have VAs, cold caller VAs,
Okay.
but we get the data from a special data source that is predictive data, and it's a little bit more. It's not white labeled or bulk. It's more predictive and a little bit more niche.
Okay. Okay, sounds good. Sounds good. So, what do you when you walk into a property? Let's say you're standing with a seller. What do you use typically? Do you use like any like advanced automation tools? Do you use rule of thumb? What do you use?
Well, 90% of the time when we close our deals, it's virtual. The only time I walk it is if I need to be boots on the ground, if that's what you mean. But
Yeah.
other than that, it's 90% virtual for us.
All right, sounds good. Sounds good. Now, folks, I'm gonna be reading off of some notes, if that's okay. All right, so forgive me if I have to look down at my phone. Okay. All right. So first and foremost, as I was stating, I would like to speak to you all about how leveraging AI, most specifically ChatGPT, can help advance your real estate investment business. And we're going to talk in the area of um, evaluating properties. Okay. So I have 5 topics here. All right. Each should use only about a minute to cover each of them. So we're going to go through this pretty quickly. Each of the topics, what it's going to include is a benefit that you could take home with you. Okay. And also, we're going to ask Scott if we can give some give some prompts to ChatGPT just to show you, for example, what I'm speaking of. Okay. All right. So first benefit here is quick and cost-effective preliminary analysis. Okay, quick and cost-effective preliminary analysis. How does that help us? How many of us, by show of hands, have evaluated a property and it was a complete waste of time? Pretty much the whole room, right, Stu? Pretty much everyone? All right, so one of the benefits of ChatGPT is that Chat can evaluate deals before you spend money on contractors, inspectors, and stuff like that. That way, you can get a good ballpark figure that you can offer on. Okay. Now, keep in mind, what is ChatGPT not? What is ChatGPT not? What is artificial intelligence not? It's not a contractor, exactly. So what do we want to do when using artificial intelligence in general is we want to have a human or someone that operates in this arena that we're asking questions to kind of verify that information. Good to go? Okay. All right, so first prompt. Who here has a property they're evaluating right now, this very moment? Just any property. Just give me general idea. You okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to use. What's your name?
You call me Prevo.
Prevo. Good to go. All right. So Scott, we're gonna help Prevo right quick. Now, 3 things I'd like to know, Prevo. What's the square footage of this property?
It is
It could be a rough estimate.
1,500.
1,500 sounds good.
Yeah.
All right. So 1,500. What's the location? City?
Portsmouth on
Ports-
downtown Portsmouth.
Downtown Portsmouth?
Yeah.
Okay. And what is the condition? We're going to give you 3 options, okay? We're going to give you, let's see, fair, good, or excellent. Well,
Okay.
nothing's really excellent. So let's say, we'll talk in the rehab sense. We'll say light rehab, moderate rehab, or heavy rehab. Where
It's
are
a
you?
little between light and great. If
Okay.
that makes sense.
So moderate,
What
intermediate.
less than moderate, less than 10K in repairs.
That's kind of light.
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll say light. Okay, so here's a prompt for you. Here's a prompt. Oh, Scott already got us started. Okay, so one of the ways that chat can help us evaluate, give a preliminary analysis. Preliminary analysis is square footage. We have 1,500. Okay, location. We have downtown Portsmouth. Condition. We have light rehab. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to ask ChatGPT for a rough estimate of renovation costs based on common market rates. Okay, so Scott, so here's a good prompt. Hi, chat. Please provide a rough estimate of renovation costs based on current market rates for a property, and you already have the 1,500 and all that good stuff. Okay, now, Scott, before you hit send on this message, what I'd like you to do is go to the end. All right, now here's just a tip, okay? So what ChatGPT also does not do for you, it does not know the calendar. It does not know the time, okay? You'll find that out if you use ChatGPT long enough. So what I like to do is I like to put in the date. So ChatGPT is aware of what date I'm talking about. So when it does its search, it can base it off of today. So today being March 13th, 2025. No worries about the typos, because I don't know, it just knows. All right. It'll take care of all that. Just hit send. Okay, go ahead, Scott. Now, should we have a timer? See how quickly you can get us this. Okay, cool. So, what do we have here, folks? All right, so we know that we're in downtown Portsmouth. We're doing a light rehab. Today's day got that 1,500 square feet. So what did chat spit out for us, Prevo? You have a whole house renovation, typically costs what? $15 to $60 per square foot. And then it's going to give us a... Where is that? Ooh, yeah. So, good catch, because we are... That's a big number. Okay, so this is what we want to do. Did we put Portsmouth, downtown Portsmouth? Okay, cool. So this is what we're going to do. How are we going to change that without having to type all that? Go back up here, Scott. You want to... Man, maybe it's not going to do that for us. Okay, so correct it. Say, correction, we are looking in Portsmouth, Virginia. That's all you got to do, right? Because what did Stu show us a second ago? Or tell us a second ago? It's going to remember this information. So everything that you talk about after that, it's going to update it. Good to go? All right, so go ahead and hit yours. Okay, so New Hampshire area, still talking New Hampshire. Okay, all right, so as we can see from this example, ChatGPT is not perfect, okay? But either way, you guys get the point. So typically, I have not seen this happen, all right? So I don't know what it's doing here.
When you changed it to Portsmouth, Virginia, it didn't correct itself?
It didn't correct itself at all. I think
always corrected.
it always corrects itself for some reason. I don't know what's going on.
Maybe if you add a zip code.
Zip code. What's our zip code?
237.
Yeah.
23704. Let's try that. Correction, zip code 23704.
Yeah, that's the one I'm
See if it gives us any new
I guess
information.
downtown.
All right, so it did change some things here. Okay, good call. Zip code. Who said that? Good job, guys. Good job. Good job. All right. So whole house renovations typically going to range somewhere in that neighborhood. Okay, building a home addition in Portsmouth is going to be around here. Okay, so you guys get the point, right? Anybody have any questions so far? Okay, good to go. You guys see the advantage here? You guys see the benefit? What's the benefit here? Let me get one person. Make sure we're tracking. What's the benefit? It's fast, Kim says. Time, right?
Yeah.
Real quick. Okay, so basically we started off the prompt with how many of us have wasted time evaluating a deal just to find out it wasn't even worth it? Or you have to call a contractor, call an inspector, and stuff like this. As we go through a lot of this networking and we go through speaking to other fellow investors or even networking with contractors, we're going to get an idea on what things should cost. You guys tracking? What things should cost. And when we figure this out, when we start to get a hold of that, we can have intelligent conversations with people to get our properties done a lot quicker, evaluated a lot quicker. All right?
Is there a way to narrow the spread a little bit? Is there questions we could ask? Is $15 per square feet, $60 per square foot is a pretty large.
That is very, very large spread, and I'm glad you asked that. What's your name?
Mark.
Mark? Good question, Mark. Okay, so this is all going to be answered within ChatGPT. Okay, so what we're probably going to talk about this here in a second, but when you're talking specific items, that's what the search is going to be used for. You guys follow me? So this is talking about a whole house renovation. We're typically ranging between 15, 60 per square foot. Prevo.
Yes, sir.
In a meeting that we had not too long ago, it's probably the December one, if I remember correctly, you had a rule of thumb that you used for whenever you're evaluating properties. Was that you?
Probably was, but could you try to?
Let's say this. So anybody use a rule of thumb before this ChatGPT stuff? What's the rule of thumb? So for a light rehab, we generally say what, about 20 to 40 bucks?
Yeah.
Okay. For an intermediate rehab, maybe we do a bathroom, not too much.
30
Right?
to 40.
Okay, so a little bit above that. And then for a full gut job, a heavy rehab, where are we at?
60.
60 to 80, right? So that's pretty much what it's talking about here. Mark, good to go? So you want to speak about, or you have a specific question? Ask it, right? Ask it. So for a bathroom, for what have you, all right? We'll let you all play with that. We'll go on to the next topic, okay? Everybody tracking? Any other questions? Okay, next topic. All right, so number 2. So we have 5 here, so we're gonna breeze through these a little bit quicker. All right, if we can, as long as you guys are tracking. All right, so material labor cost breakdown. So instead of manually researching material costs, what ChatGPT can do is help provide an estimated breakdown for things like flooring, paint, plumbing, electrical, and more. That's huge, right? Those are big deals whenever we're evaluating properties. Okay, so for our next prompt, all right, Scott, we're going to use the same house, Prevo's house, okay? So here's the question. You ready? What's the average cost per square foot for LVP flooring in Portsmouth, Virginia, 23704? What is the average cost per square foot for LVP flooring in Portsmouth, Virginia, 23704? That also? Yeah. So basically what you're saying, 100%. So say that. Steve, you have the mic on? Oh, wait for it. Okay, so what's your name? Russell.
Here you go, Russell.
All right, so one
I'm
more
going
time,
to sleep
Russell,
at the wheel again.
for the no worries. For
What I
the
was saying
folks
is-
in the back.
I use ChatGPT. I talk to ChatGPT. It has a voice feature. You don't if you're not good at typing, you can just talk to it and it'll talk back to you. But it also will give you a text version of whatever it said to you in voice. My point is that you said what is the average cost per square foot for LVT flooring in Portsmouth? You could actually say using this house. You can talk. My point is, you can talk to ChatGPT like you're having a conversation. You can say, using this house, what would be the average cost per square foot for this house? And it's going to remember that this house is 1,500 square feet. You see what I'm saying? You don't have to have the perfect prompt, is what I'm saying. You can just talk to it like you're having a conversation. So how much would you can almost say how much would the average cost per square foot for LVP on this house, and it would basically give you the same answer. without you having to say Portsmouth, Virginia, 23704. That's my point.
Good deal.
That's all I was trying to make, is it's really conversational in the way you interact with it. That's really the point I was trying to make.
100%. Everybody with it?
That's the chat part.
That's the chat part of ChatGPT. And we're going to add something for free. Okay, so how many of us have smartphones? Everybody has a dumb phone? Everybody has a smartphone. Okay, so there's an app for everything, right? So ChatGPT does have an app. How many of us are using ChatGPT's app? Okay, so when we're talking about talking to ChatGPT, I actually really like that feature too, right? Because, you get your thumbs, they get it kind of tired and cramped up. You're like, man, I'm asking so many questions at such a rapid rate. ChatGPT has a feature where, how many of us use Google? Like you say, hey, Google. Make sure my phone doesn't respond. All right, and then you got to speak really, really fast or it'll cut you off. Anyone's experienced that, right? Fair enough. Okay, cool. I guess for Apple users, you probably get the same thing. All right, so with Chat doesn't do that. Chat just records what you're saying, and you control it. So you say, start the recording, you speak, and I can go on forever and just, oh man, what was I saying? Okay, yeah, okay, hold on, Chat, I meant to say that. And it'll record what you're saying, and then boop, you ready to send it? And you hit send, and then it'll do this, okay, for you. So I highly recommend you guys and gals get on the ChatGPT app if you can, and that way you can ask some questions. Good point. All right, so let's go ahead and hit send on this one, Scott. Searching the web. Okay, LVP, luxury vinyl plank. All right, including both material and labor range from 355 per square foot. Is that good? Is that about right? About right, right? How does that thing know that? All right. So, okay, so where's the advantage here? All right, so this helps budget-conscious investors avoid overpaying on materials and labor. So when you're having that conversation with your contractor and they say, hey, how much should this be? Maybe you're new, or maybe you just want to make sure you're getting the best deal, right? Fair enough?
I wonder if those guys are getting any louder back there.
Good to go. All right. Okay. All right, so here's a possible question that I actually came up with this while using ChatGPT to help me with this briefing here. Can ChatGPT adjust for inflation or regional price differences? Should be able to, right? Should be able to. Well, the answer that I got was it can use general cost trends, but real-time verification is still needed. Okay, real-time verification is still needed. Using ChatGPT alongside tools like Home Depot's Price Checker or local contractor quotes is best. What did we say a second ago, earlier? Make sure you have a human verify this stuff, okay? So we don't want to hold ChatGPT liable or anything like that. It's just a tool. When we're actually making real-time adult decisions, we want to make those with a real-time adult, okay? All right, good to go? Any questions? Everybody tracking? All right, so we're going to go on to the third point. I got 5 here. Bear with me. All right, so estimating ARV and ROI. How important is that to anybody in the room? Estimating the ARV and the return on investment. How much money am I going to make on this? All right, ChatGPT can help. Okay, so a couple benefits. ChatGPT can analyze market comps and help estimate ARV based on recent sales. I believe Stu was talking about that when it comes to Zillow and the wealth of data that the internet already has for us, right? Okay. As an investor, you can input your rehab budget, and ChatGPT can estimate the ROI and the cash-on-cash return. Okay. All right, and it also helps determine if a deal even makes sense before you commit funds. So, Scott, next, you want me to stand still? Okay. He's adjust. Listen, I walk when I think, and that's just me. I do not do thinking well sitting down. So I walk, pace my apartment when I'm thinking, and then also, I guess, when I'm talking. So I apologize, Scott. I'll try to. Right? You have one of those things on my collar and just move? Okay. I'll do my best. All right. So another prompt here, Scott. We're going to go to Now, this one's not necessarily going to be related to this property. Boom. Here's the prompt. Ready? What's the average price per square foot for a 3-bedroom home in Portsmouth, Virginia? If you want to skip the Portsmouth, Virginia part, but make sure we get that zip in there, okay? So the 23704. All right, ready, go. Wow, super quick, right? Okay, so in Portsmouth, Virginia, average price, where are we at? As of February 2025, median listing price per square foot is 168 bucks. Realtors. Is that about right? Is that fair? 168 bucks per square foot? Okay, so for a specific example, a 3-bedroom, 1-bathroom home, 1,000 square foot is listed at $215. That's about $214 per square foot. Okay? And then it gives you a little warning here. These are averages, okay? So again, we want to get someone like the Chris Lloyd real estate team or our local realtor to go ahead and help us verify that, okay? All right. Now, here's a question. How does ChatGPT compare to Zillow or Redfin for comps? Zillow or Redfin? If we're using Zillow, Redfin, using ChatGPT to comp properties, how accurate do you think ChatGPT can get us? 70%? That's a bold guess. I like it. Let's see. All right, so what does Zillow and Redfin have access to? MLS, right? So Zillow and Redfin has access to MLS data, which ChatGPT doesn't directly access. However, what it can do is it can analyze historical trends and pricing models to provide an insight. Okay? So if we're using ChatGPT, what else should we probably be using? Other tools, MLS, and most specifically, there you go. What did you say again? Real estate agent. That's going to be a common theme here, right? I want to make sure that we drive that point home, investors. I want to make sure that we drive that point home because it's quite important that we have a human, someone in this arena, professional in this arena, to make sure they're cross-checking our data, and we're just using this to help ourselves, okay, as a tool. Right? Say it again. What's that?
Before they made a loan on the property, I would go around and coach bottom structure to take a picture and make sure that it was there, it was okay, the pictures and analysis.
There you go. There you go. So a professional in the field, making sure that you're cross-checking that info. Good deal. All right. Good to go. Everybody, any other questions? Any questions so far? Let's track it. Okay. All right. So going on to number 4, fourth benefit here: risk assessment and common rehab pitfalls. How does it help us with that? Risk assessment and common rehab pitfalls. ChatGPT can highlight common hidden issues in properties like foundation cracks, electrical panel upgrades, permit requirements. It's important. So for our new investors, whether you're new, seasoned, whatever, you can also get benefits likewise from ChatGPT. However, here's a good prompt for us. Scott, ready? What are common red flags in a 1950s home that has not been updated? Some of us know the answer. Okay. Lead. What is it? Gas iron pipe. Cast iron piping. Good point.
Aluminum wiring.
Aluminum wiring. You know, the electrical panels, some of those things have like the little fuses. Yeah. All right. Wiring. That instant. We know the wiring probably has to be upgraded. What else?
Asbestos siding.
As-
Perhaps asbestos insulation.
Asbestos insulation. We're talking 1950s, right? When did they start doing and changing out of asbestos?
Electric.
70s, right? Go ahead. Electrical, right? Right. What else?
Wiring without a ground.
Wiring without a ground.
So basically, It's actually black and you're white, but it doesn't have the bare copper, allowing you, so quick rehabbers will go in and say, oh, I'm just gonna go ahead and put new plugs in here. Guess what? There's only 2 wires, there's not 3.
Exactly. Exactly. Right? So let me ask you this, by show of hands, how many of us did not know at least 1 or 2 of those? Just off the top of our head. So if we walked into a property, thank you. If we walked into a property and you look on the property information card that you get from the real estate office, the county office, you'll see the build date on it, right? Good to go? That build date says 1954. And you're like, okay, cool, you know? Especially our virtual guys over there, Prevo. 1954. There are some things that we probably want to be alert to. So, to help us, you know, I would say get smarter on that topic, we have a prompt here. So, Scott, ready, go. Let's see. Electrical wiring, we said that, right? Number 1, right up top. Outdated wiring and insufficient power. What else? Plumbing issues. We scroll down a little bit. Lead pipes. Foundational and structural problems. Go down some more. Asbestos, we said that. Roof and attic conditions. These are things that we want to look out for in a property like that. And for some of us who have not experienced having to deal with some of these things, this is very important for us to go into the property. What does this save us? 2 things. 2 of our greatest resources. Time and money. Exactly. Okay. All right. And here's a question. Can ChatGPT predict unexpected costs in a rehab? What do we think? Somewhat? It can help? Highlight possibilities. I like it. I like it. Okay. So the answer here that was provided is it can highlight risk factors, but it doesn't replace a human. There you go. A professional in that area. All right. Good to go. Okay. So last one. We ready? All right. Creating a scope of work and contractor bidding. Creating a scope of work and contractor bidding. How does ChatGPT help us with that? Okay. ChatGPT can draft a scope of work for contractors, saving us time. Exactly. Investors can input a general rehab plan and get a structured breakdown of tasks required. That's the cool part right there, right? So now you know, let's say you are the contractor, okay, and you want to just have a general list of tasks just to stay on point. ChatGPT can help you with that. Let's say you're the real estate investor hiring the contractor and you want to get a general list of tasks so you know what to check that your property's getting taken care of. ChatGPT can help you with that. Okay, here's a prompt. Scott, you ready? All right, generate a scope of work for a full kitchen renovation for the house above. Like it, right? It didn't say that. It didn't say. I had to add that. All right, for the house above. This is going to show you the flexibility of chat. It remembers. Okay. Ready, go. Scope of work, full kitchen renovation, project overview. Look how it talks to you. This scope of work outlines something. Okay. Keep going. Demolition and preparation. All right. Remove the cabinets. Carefully remove and dispose of all kitchen cabinetry, countertops, backsplashes. All right? When you're done with that, remove the appliances. Take the floor out, wall and ceiling prep. Let's go down. All right? Waste disposal. Ensure proper disposal of all debris. Structure utility work, and so on and so forth. You guys see that?
Barney style.
Barney style. There you go. And if you really wanted to get Barney style, you could probably put that in there. Hey, Scott, let's play with that. Explain all of this in Barney style. Ready, go. Let's break this down in simpler terms. Professional. We're not going to call it Barney style. Kitchen makeover. Old stuff gone. Clear the floor. Get the walls ready. All right? Fair enough? All right. Good deal. Good deal. Thank you, Scott. Okay, so possible question. Can ChatGPT replace a project manager? Unanimous consent? No. What must we have? A human. Good job. All right, folks. So in short, ChatGPT is a powerful tool for real estate investors. It will not replace a professional, but it can help you analyze deals faster, saving you time, estimating costs, avoiding pitfalls, and creating better scopes of work. And if you haven't tried ChatGPT or artificial intelligence for real estate investing yet, I encourage you to start using it today. Yes.
Oh, here we go. Here we go.
Don't give it to her.
And quite fell asleep.
Okay. Can it be specific for one, like if you can give an address and give you
100%. 100%. You want to try that? Do we have an address? Property that's already closed, dealt on? Any address? 926. What is the cost of a full kitchen renovation for 926? There you go.
West Green Street, Decatur, Illinois.
Let's see. Now, the data that it's going to access obviously has to be available on the internet. So, what do we have here? All right. So, well, it says renovating the kitchen at this address involves various factors that influence the overall cost, including the size of the kitchen, quality of the materials. We obviously know that, right? The extent of the remodel. But a smaller basic kitchen remodel, going to be around there. Mid or mid-level, going to be around there. And large kitchen remodel is going to be around there. Okay. So these estimates encompass the various aspects of a kitchen remodel, including cabinetry, countertops, and all that good stuff. So to answer it succinctly, basically what it's going to do is it's going to give you a broad scope like we got in the beginning, that $15 to $60 range, and then it's up to us to take a look at what exactly we want out of chat or what we want out of the renovation, and then use the information by chat, just kind of like buffer that. Make sense?
You can, I've done it before where I did, okay, in this address, this kitchen is 200 square feet, whatever. I'm looking for LVP, I'm looking for this, I'm looking for this.
The more data
More
you give
details.
it. Yeah. Remember when I was talking, you iterate, you ask a
going.
question, you give it a little more data. I was getting ready to get to that. Yep.
Cabinet is that a prompt?
That's a prompt. Yep.
Cabinet cost for a 10 by 10 kitchen in Norfolk, Virginia. Norfolk, Virginia, 23502. So I do want to highlight that as well, as Stu was saying. The more information you give it, the more it's going to provide you, more detailed information. So we say good information in, good information out, right? Okay, so perfect timing. So since we have not paid for ChatGPT, they're going to cut off our briefing. All right, $20 a month. $20.
Have you? You're
One user.
You're on the paid version. Okay, we're gonna.
I'm on the paid version too. I just said. I
I was gonna say I logged in. I paid for it today.
Okay, so great. So Chris
Make
is
sure
up
we
next,
didn't get
and then
screwed.
we can hopefully log in.
Okay, so did that give you? Can you see underneath of that?
Stay logged out, maybe. Stay logged out.
Yeah, just stay logged out and see what happens. Okay, so what's it tell you? Pre-assembled cabinets, ready to assemble 2,000 to 8,000 for 10 by 10 kitchen. There you go. So RVA is on the
Delivered to your house.
assembled
$2,800.
and delivered to your house. 2,800.
Solid wood construction, full extension drawers.
There you go.
Soft closed doors, soft closed drawers.
So let me tell you that what we just learned. We learned two things. ChatGPT will give you a decent answer, one, and cabinetry RVA RVA cabinetry. We'll give you a good price compared to what Chat GPT tells you. So that's a
And there you
win-win.
go. And
That's
there's
a
your
win-win on
there's
that
your
prompt.
professional, right?
I took a bold move there.
And he was like, man, I hope they don't undercut it. Oh,
You know it wasn't going to come back $500. You should spend $500 for your cabinets. For
All right, so thank you, folks. I hope you learned something. I surely did. And
All right. Thanks, Gary. Let me get that for you. All right. So we got one more. I'm going to bring Chris up. Hey, come on, Chris. You want to sit? You want to drive, or you want to? How do you want to work it?
Could you
Here.
log into the Priya email? I sent some docs and some stuff over.
I've got it already loaded in on. It's on the share drive, the same share you got that briefing.
I put two things in there. I put two screenshots, then I put a bylaws for
They
HOA.
should be. And do you need him to log in on that, on the chat GPT?
No, the free version should be fine.
Okay, so
I'm gonna stand back here behind the speaker.
okay. There you go.
So we'll do the images first. Yeah. Are you able to like zoom in at all on it? There you go.
All right. So hey, Chris. So tell us how you're using it. I know you, as contractor, he has his way. Real estate realtor, agent,
Yep.
investor.
So
different?
we've fully integrated AI into pretty much what we do every single day. And one of the ways that we've done it is this thing on the back of my phone. It's called Claude AI. It's actually a voice recorder that uses ChatGPT to summarize my conversations and give me action items that I can put into my CRM. Where that really becomes useful is being a broker, I'm on the road a whole lot. I get phone calls because I got ads running at all times. And for me, it's really important to answer the phone. Wholesalers, you know what that is. If you're a flipper doing your own marketing, you want to be able to answer the phone whenever it rings, because if you miss that call, the chances of you closing that deal goes down significantly. So where this comes into effect is I can be driving the car, and this is a conversation that I had while driving on the way between two showings from someone that hit one of my ads and called me. So as soon as it came in, I've got a phone number that's tagged, so I know to start recording, and I press the button and I answer the call. And it was from someone that hit one of my ads, and we had a full conversation while I was driving, focusing on getting to the showing, but I couldn't take the notes or anything like that. So it gave me an overview of our conversation. If you go down, it gave me the name so that I can start putting that into my CRM when I get down. We talked about our home search criteria. This individual wanted to look for a home in Newport News or Hampton with a certain criteria being like 4 bedrooms or 3 bedrooms. And then we got her in touch with a lender, if you scroll down. And it took note of when she's meeting with the lender per our conversation that we had. It disappeared.
Math in public.
No worries. And then also she was using a first-time home buyer program, so it even took note of what program in particular, which is all important information for what I do. For a wholesaler, you'd be asking, you know, what's the condition of the property, what's wrong with it, everything like that. You don't have to worry about taking notes. If you're between your walkthroughs, anything like that, it's going to record and it's going to spit this out for you.
What is that hardware?
It's called Claude AI.
Claude.
Claud. Yep. And if you hit that
What's something like
second
that run you? Is that and is there a monthly fee to that?
There is a monthly fee. It's relatively insignificant. I'm pretty sure it's $15 a month is what I pay. It's really not too crazy. Claude with no E. Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
You can get it on Amazon. The actual hardware is about $160 for this thing. Right? So we scheduled a follow-up call. It took note of the time, so that when I get back to my calendar, I can put it in. I haven't quite integrated it completely with my calendar to automatically set all this. I'm trying to see if I can figure out how to set up a Zap for that. And then also it gave me these action items at the bottom. I'm following up with Shaniqua at 2 o'clock tomorrow to discuss the lender meeting outcome and see what her status is, and then set up another meeting to review the Virginia Summary of Rights and Obligations, which is just for my job. So that's one of the things that I really like using AI for, is just taking notes. It's like my personal assistant whenever my hands are tied. Yep.
And those action items, the AI gave you automatically?
Yes. Yep.
Does it
gave me
know
action
your
items.
job, or is it something you?
It does, yeah. When I set it up, I said, hey, I'm a real estate agent. I want you to take a recording of my phone calls, give me a summary so I can look back on it, remember the conversation, and give me action items that I can put in my CRM.
Does it record all calls or just the ones that are?
Just the ones I select. So I select it by just pressing the button on the back.
Oh.
Yeah, so basically the way I've got it set up is when people call me from one of my ads, it will have the ad. I have it saved in my contacts with that number. So I know that they're calling from that ad and I'm ready to hit the button.
So I got a question. So when you get a call, you hit that button.
Mm-hmm.
How do you know, let's say you got like 10 calls, which goes to which? Just by the name in the summary?
What do you mean? Oh, yeah. So the call's going to it's going to be like, hey, I'm blank. I saw your ad on this. It's going to record that. If they said, hey, my name is Josh,
Gotcha.
it's going to start saying, Josh called you at about this day talking about these things. And I'm like, oh, nice to meet you, Josh. What are you looking to do? And he said, oh, I'm looking to buy a home in Chesapeake, Virginia. And I'm like, okay, well, what type of home? 3-bed, 2-bath. It's recording all of that. So I just have my regular conversation, just as a person to person, and this is going to be taking all the notes, giving me the summary, and giving me my action items below after the call.
So you get the full transcript and you get the summary.
Correct. Yep.
Gotcha.
And I can even listen back to the phone call with the plan I have. I don't know if that's a part of what I pay for, but I can listen to the phone call again later if I want to.
And then you're manually putting the important stuff in your CRM.
Yes, I'm manually putting it in the CRM because I just haven't had the time to see if I can make that automated. I'm sure you can, but I'm not good at that stuff, so I'm probably gonna have to find someone to set that up.
My son was doing programming our CRM.
Yeah.
And he was doing it with AI.
Yeah.
He was just all excited. He was like, and he was just telling it to do stuff, and it was setting everything up for him.
It was great.
And we were getting real specific for our business.
Yep.
So we didn't need all the extra stuff.
Yep.
Hey, Chris, I bet if you ask ChatGPT how to automate it, it'll tell you.
I'm sure it will. I'm sure it will. We can absolutely try that out too.
Programming it to do what we wanted it to do.
Yep.
Rather than just setting it up.
Absolutely, it will. It will. We'll definitely do that. Right?
I just wanted to know, have you ever tried to compare the action items from the one that you use with ChatGPT to see if it give you, more?
So I use both.
Okay.
I use ChatGPT and I use this. This is only for phone calls. I don't use this for regular ChatGPT stuff. And the reason being, ChatGPT, not that I'm aware of, can record a phone call. That's where this comes in. This is a phone call recording system that uses ChatGPT to analyze the whole conversation, spit out a summary and action items for me to follow up on.
Gotcha.
Plaud, P-L-A-U-D, that right there. Yep, and they've got I've got the one on the left that goes on the back of the phone. It's just a little magnetic thing, pops right on. And then the thing on the left you can wear as a necklace. They're making a watch band for it. So just very subtle things, like you can be having a conversation with someone, say you meet someone at a meetup, and you're talking with 10 different people during networking, and you want to make sure you remember the conversations. Boop, hit it, and it will just start recording. You'd be like, hey, Scott, nice to meet you. It knows that I'm talking to Scott. We talk about flipping homes. And it's like, you talk to Scott about flipping homes. We're like, hey, I actually know about this deal in Newport News that I want to bring to you. And be like, okay, great. Put it. Perfect. I review that summary when I get home, and it's like, oh, I need to reach out to Scott about the property in Newport News because it said, or it recorded that it was something Scott was interested in. So you can use it for stuff like that too. And the Plaud system If you have it set to red, it can record phone calls. If you have it set to black, it can just record regular conversations.
Question for you. So is there any concerns or anything that you have to be concerned or, I guess, like plan for? Like, sorry, I'm like so late. I'm so tired right
You're
now.
good.
But like recording people without telling them, like, do you mention that you're recording, or are there?
Not in Virginia.
Okay.
Only one person has, no, and you're
Yep.
the one person.
And you are the one person.
Okay.
What I can't do is I can't have I can't have an AI caller, like I'm sure y'all all have the little ring, 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 boop, and then you can hear someone AI over the phone saying, hey, I'm calling you about your car's extended warranty or whatever. If that's being recorded, it has to open with you are being recorded. But if you're an actual person recording the conversation in Virginia, check with your lawyer, you don't have to.
Okay, and then the other question I had was, and it probably goes back to the CRM system, but so you're using this to collect data. So let's say you have 20 calls and a property comes up that meets this person's desires, 15 other people you've been talking to. Is that your CRM system, or could you use this tool? Hey, how many phone calls have I had where they were looking for a 3-bed, 2-bath in this area? Like for your business. So like if I get a couple different phone calls, they're all looking for pretty much the same thing. Right, and like you're looking at inventory that you found, clientele you
Gotcha.
have. So yeah, so for
That
someone,
falls on our CRM.
Okay.
So like if we have, for example, a flipper saying they're looking in Chesapeake, Virginia, in this price for this level rehab in our system, we just click all those boxes, and then when we have the deal, we put the information in, and we'll narrow down exactly whose buy box that is.
Okay, so the
Yeah,
streamlining.
that's our CRM. That's
the
not AI.
streamlining piece for you is getting it from phone call into the CRM,
Yes.
and then the CRM picks up on that next phase.
Correct, yes. So this is just data collection and organization. So I'm on the road a whole lot, between properties and showings. I don't have my notepad and I'm not going down 64 or 70 miles an hour writing notes whenever I get a call. I want this to record so that I can focus on driving and have a person-to-person conversation, listen to them completely the entire time. And I even use it when I'm at my desk. Because if I'm sitting down writing, me personally, I'm only half listening. I can have a fully engaged conversation if it's just recording and actually have a little bit more of a connection with that client, if that makes sense. So for me, it helps me with that multitasking bit as well.
Great, I can't even read my writing.
Right?
So what you do is you take the information from Claude and put it into
Copy paste right in my CRM, and it puts it in the notes. So could we go to the bylaws real quick? Anybody bought an HOA before? We've got a couple. So the whole resale certificate packet and all the bylaws, the 180-page pack that you really only care about 3 things in. So this is the Courthouse Green Property Association packet that you get with all the bylaws in it. Scott, can we download this real quick? And then we're going to open up ChatGPT. I love this. Perfect. So it's downloading up there. If we can just download ChatGPT or pull up ChatGPT. GPT, yeah. Perfect. So we got that there. If we just open another tab with ChatGPT, we can drag that document right into it. I'm not, but the free versions should be able to pick this up.
You've got the paid version and the free version, and the
I've got
free
the paid
version is pretty close to the paid version, but I understand that the free version, when you get to using it a lot like we're doing right now, sometimes it'll throttle down, slow you down, might bump you off because there's other people that are ahead of you in line and they're paying So
Yeah, sometimes
and-
there's a limit on the prompts that you can submit within a
Right.
certain amount of time during peak usage.
And they'll also, it allowed me, when I was on the free version, I was able to do 3 pictures, three images, and then it said, you're done with your images, come back in 24 hours.
So for the.
And then just drop it.
You know what, it doesn't, I used it as I just
Yeah, click
today signed up for it. It's $20 a month, I did it, and I don't know how long I'll use it.
I might
But
need to log in.
I've been doing a lot without being logged in. So,
All right, let's see.
right. Yeah.
And it's something, can you put it under the business expense and use it for the.
Oh, sure. Yeah. It's and honestly, it's going to be one of those things where use the free version until you start finding out it's not giving you what you need, and then go, okay, I'm ready to pay for it now. Don't jump in and pay for it until something happens that you're not getting what you wanted to do. Yes, sir. Let me get to the microphone there.
Correct.
While Chris pulls that up, I just want to I want to give you guys a couple of points. The first point I want to make, as cool as all this sounds, and everybody's, oh, this is great. There might be a few of you in this room going, I don't know about this AI stuff. It's kind of weird. I don't trust it. The government this, the government that. But people, when some of us are old enough to remember when ATMs first came out. People, some of us that remember when ATM machines came, people thought the same thing about ATM machines. Oh, I don't want. They're going to put people out. They're going to put tellers out. They're going to take away people's jobs. Actually, what the ATM machine did was allowed banks to expand and grow and hire more employees. All the ATM machine was a tool that allowed the banks to become more efficient. That's just my best example on what this is. Just another tool. Because I know a lot of people, they like this stuff. They think, oh, there's something like, I don't trust. I got a buddy, he doesn't trust any of this stuff. But I was to the cabinetry guy. What is it, guys? I brought my journal, so I can look like I'm smart and I'm taking notes. I haven't opened it once. You know why? Because I got an AI app called Otter.ai. It transcribes this whole meeting tonight, audio and types it out, and it'll give me a summary at the end. So I'm just telling you, AI is amazing. My wife's an amazing note taker. I'm not, so that's why I got this app. And
See him taking notes right in front of you. He's writing down Otter AI.
OTTER.ai.
Never write another note again.
You never have to write another note again. I take it to conferences. Now there's a free version, but then you're going to want the paid version if you want the. And then here's what I do.
All us old guys are writing down on paper.
OTTER, like an animal, like an otter. OTTER.ai is the name of the app and the name of the website. But to that point, I take it. Here's what I'll do. So I'll take that transcribed text and I'll put it into another AI app and I don't know what I did it for, and have it write a script for a video or have a script for. I have a podcast called Cancer Cured Me. Remember I went through cancer, and so you can do all kind of stuff. All these are just tools to save you time and money, as we've been talking about all night. So with that, I'll turn back over to Chris. There you go. I just want to make those couple points to you guys.
So the HOA packet is failing to upload right now. Don't know why, but what I like to do is you can upload the entire HOA packet right into ChatGPT. And one of the things that I wanted to show you with Courthouse Green is there's very few specified colors that you can use for exterior paint, for like fascia, and then the windows have to be a certain color. You can just type in, hey, what are the approved colors? It's going to scan that whole 180 pages, spit them right out you, where you can buy them, the exact tint that they have to add, and everything. So you can ask that. You can also ask what's the minimum lease term. You can even put the financials that you get in the resale certificate and ask it, hey, do you feel like this association is properly funded, and what's the probability of a special assessment? So you can ask it all these things. Now, in the free version, I don't know if it's going to go into that kind of detail. My paid version does, because I do it every day. Now, there's a couple of other prompts that I wanted to walk through that I've done recently. So here's a good one. You mentioned you're not familiar with midterm rentals. It's a short-term rental, minimum lease term 30 days. So it's fully furnished. Now, one of the most difficult things when you're setting up a short-term rental or midterm rental is getting all of the furnishings and getting everything you absolutely need to make sure it's up and running. Because we would all rather just make one trip to Walmart instead of 5 trips because you realize you forgot the paper towels. And then you're going and you're like, oh, you know what? I should have gotten I forgot to get plates. I got glasses, but I forgot to get plates. And then you're like, oh, I forgot soap. So what you can do, and what I did for my midterm rentals was give me a shopping list for everything, including furniture and everything in the kitchen for a short-term rental. Boom. And
Man, you don't even get married anymore.
shopping list for a short-term rental to include all furnishings, kitchen items. Oh, and it took me to another prompt. So ChatGPT is having some issues. It's all good.
There's a video series outline. All right.
Yeah, so this is another thing we're working on right now. So I'm working on a video series outline to walk first-time home buyers through the entire process so that I can answer their questions before they come to me asking for them. I'm putting together videos, and I asked it. Yeah. Yeah, it's even giving me email delivery systems.
My free one was doing the same
Yeah.
thing. It was still saving them.
Yeah, so
How do you get to like a new item like you're doing now where it doesn't look back at?
Hey, Chris, scroll down. Scroll down, Chris. All the way down. Scroll down.
oh, here it is. Here's the shopping list. Smart lock, keyless entry system, Wi-Fi router, high-speed internet, welcome book, security cameras, carbon monoxide, and then each bedroom, it gives you bed frame, mattress, protector, sheets, comforter, pillows, blankets, like all the things that you know to get, but while you're walking through the store, you may forget some of the items. Take this, put it in a Word document, print it out. Take it to the store and cross it off. That's literally what I did. And go with someone else so you're not pushing around 3 shopping carts by yourself. Living room, couch, pillows, coffee table, end table, TV. And it even gave a recommendation for a minimum size TV. You don't want to go too small in an Airbnb. You want that good review. You want it to feel homey, so it's even going to throw in stuff like that. Decor, floor lamps, dining area, so table, chairs, centerpiece, and then it gives you the essentials. You may forget to put a can opener in there. That's, one of those small things that you very easily...
You're going to get a phone call for in the middle of the night. How do I open my can of beans?
Right. So, like, if you're setting up a short-term rental or midterm rental, this is a very easy way to put together that list instead of sitting down for 2 hours at night saying, hey, what am I forgetting here? It's just going to give you that whole list right there. Now, another thing, I got HOA docs. So, ChatGPT is not a lawyer. I'll preface it with that. However, last year I found myself in a situation where I wanted to make a sub-2 offer, and I didn't really want to pay an attorney for the contract items. I'd rather just take something to them, and because it was a contract between myself and the seller. Because it was directly between myself and the seller, we can agree on a contract we come up with together. So, I gave it the prompt. Let's see here, if it wants to work with me. Right. Let's refresh it. Write me a subject to contract for an offer on a property in Virginia. Right there.
Bam.
Guys, a Legal Shield associate.
Listen to him. This is what I did for myself.
We have a plan for real estate investors. It's actually called our home business supplement. unlimited contract that I can review. Now, if you have to pay one of my attorneys to draft this contract, it might cost you several $100 over $1,000. But you could have ChatGPT create the contract. You could send that contract up to your law firm as part of your legal shield plan, and the attorney will let you know if it's legit, what you need to change,
Absolutely.
what you need to add, what you need to take out, for no additional cost. It's included with your plan. Yeah, absolutely. That's it. That's exactly right. So,
Because I just didn't want to pay someone to draft it.
That's right.
Yep.
So another one is pay legal shield up front, and then you can do it as many times as you want.
unlimited contract.
Where's all the addendums?
If you wanted, what would you want in an addendum? Just give me one thing.
Septic.
Write me a septic addendum. There you go. There's your septic addendum. You just ask.
All right. Hey, you got anything else, sir?
I've got a couple, but not too many.
You probably got 2 or 3, right? Because
I do.
I've got one I want to end with. If you don't whip it out.
I got you. Now, if you don't come to the yearly meeting where we talk about the eviction process, and you have a tenant that hasn't been paying, and you need a refresher, give me a step-by-step guide for the eviction process.
Ooh, that's a good
in
one.
Virginia.
Thank you very
Barney
much.
Style.
Barney style.
And as a legal shield associate,
As a legal shield associate.
you can contact your legal shield provider law firm here in Virginia, Freeman, and Rush, and say, hey, here are the steps that is this correct? Is there anything else I should do to protect myself? And this,
They'll hook you up.
Imagine being a legal phone, a call attorney, ask any question and not get a bill. That's what you get with legal shield.
Yep.
Any state.
So, if you don't come to the meeting where we cover evictions each year, or if it's about 8 months after it was presented and you need a refresher, type it into ChatGPT. It'll give you a basic guide. Last, I'll finish up on this one. This week, I had a water intrusion issue on one of my rentals, and I need to install a French drain with a sump basin. And I didn't know this, but sump pumps for anywhere in Hampton Roads that stocks them, the longest power cord that they have is 10 feet, but I needed a 12 feet cord. So, give me a list of 1/2 horsepower sump pumps with a power cord no less than 12 feet. So if you have one of those odd parts that you can't find, and I found myself going on Home Depot and just clicking on random pumps and checking each of the cord lengths, boom, right there. I was like, why am I looking through Home Depot? I spent 30 minutes on it when I could have just typed it into ChatGPT.
Google, it would take you a while too.
With Google, it will still take you a while.
Here's what I was thinking about Google is Google is good and Bing is good. All those things are good, but you ask the question, they will give you places to research.
Yeah.
So now you're going to look at this website. Now you're going to look at that website. You're going to look at this website. You're going to learn something. Then you're going to ask it again. ChatGPT is doing all that stuff for you. And what we used to do with Google, looking at 12 different websites. Oh, I was one of the first 10 websites. That's, those are the only ones you look at. So, okay, now I'm not looking at 10 websites anymore. ChatGPT is doing it for me. Okay, so is that the one you got? Here's the one I think everybody's going to like. Type this in. Give me a business plan to wholesale real estate. And it's not legal in Virginia to use that word. You have to sell contract. You have to sell. So there you go. You ever think about real estate or wholesaling real estate?
Mm-hmm.
All right, so back that up. Let's go to the top. Let's see what it says. Go to. What's the first thing you do?
The first thing you do is, It even came up with a.
And even said Chris Lloyd Real Estate. Check it out. Aim to establish. It's writing you. It wrote you a business plan.
Yep, gave us an executive summary, business model, property sourcing. Company will find distressed, off-market, undervalued properties with direct mail, online marketing, network, and cold calling. So it even tells you what it is. Let's see here. So this is a business plan.
Let's change that up a little bit. Go back to your prompt. Get rid of the business plan, please. Just say, tell me how to wholesale. Tell me how to wholesale real estate. I don't put Virginia. I didn't tell you you're gonna go to jail. Error. Danger, Will Robinson. Danger.
Too many eyes in ChatGPT right now.
There you go.
Learn the legal requirements. Build a buyer's list.
So always check because item 1 changed last year. This is trained off all of Google. So at one point, the first thing in there, you don't need a real estate license if you're signing contracts, at one point was correct. Now the laws have changed. Talk with your lawyer. I'm not going to get into that conversation.
Talk to your legal shield lawyer.
Yeah.
So is this an example of where you want to say, tell me how to?
Yeah.
Put the day's date and see.
Yeah.
Check the first item.
And the other thing that I was going to drill you down to in here is there's a piece where it starts to like build a buyer's list. The next one is it starts talking about CRMs. It starts talking about software. You know, at some point you can take one of those paragraphs and say, give me more detail on this paragraph. Tell me what software programs I should be using.
Cited the bill.
It said it was wrong in the first one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Apologies for any confusion in my previous response regarding the necessity of a real estate license for wholesaling, and it goes into the whole law that changed last year. It cited the bill, key points, implications, recommendations, and it even gave you a video summarizing what exactly happened.
That's what Chris looked like 5 minutes ago. Told me I was wrong.
So yeah, I mean we use it for everything.
This
every
is
day.
so much fun. You can. My wife says, "Why are you always sitting at the computer?" Because I'm learning more shit about ChatGPT. I'm buried in the weeds, trying to find something else that'll do.
So is ChatGPT something you could use, like for example, there's my dad in the back. What is the software called that we use to manage the rents and the contracts?
It's like building, but I use
Door loop. So for example, could you use ChatGPT once you get to the point where you need a product like Door Loop to manage all your doors to research? Because there's a lot of stuff we found that, oh, that's not great. Thanks, Door Loop, in hindsight. So is ChatGPT something that would like collect pros and cons on different
I bet if you ask ChatGPT
what it thinks about Door Loop?
tell me about
Door Loop
and alternatives, and then it'll spit something out. It'll give you some alternatives, and then I would ask it another prompt. Give me the pluses and minuses between this one and this one. It'll give you something, and then give me the plus and minus between this and this, and then you find the one that okay, these are the minus. I didn't like those, but I like the pluses over here. So you just kind of keep iteratively asking a question and having a conversation with it.
And so you could do that on like, I'm looking at appliances. I'm looking at, okay. All right.
Yeah. So you can do it for literally any. Treat ChatGPT like your assistant for anything. Just ask it, hey, find me this.
$20 a month. And you don't even need to do the $20 a month. I would tell you right now, go with a free plan until you start bumping up into roadblocks and they want you to pay for it. Then you're like, okay, I'm using it enough. It's probably worth the $20 a month. But there's the free stuff.
I'm gonna
You'll
use
find out
yours.
with the free stuff that there's cool stuff there. Yeah. And I don't know, you know, you got ChatGPT, you got Gemini, you got, all the ones that I listed up there, there's probably more. Grok that I learned, you know, that Elon Musk has, you know, you need to probably chat, you know, how to build a rocket to go to the moon with Musk. Yeah, there you go, how to put Elon Musk on the moon.
Any other takers?
But it's just,
Back to you.
when someone told me they built a business plan off of this, I don't know if that was you, Chris, or someone.
You helped me write a book.
Yeah, yes.
I look, I've been talking about writing a book for years, and I finally, a friend of mine who's told me, he says, Russell, if you start using chat, he said, do me the favors, don't use Google for anything you're going to use Google for, use ChatGPT. I promise you will never go back.
You won't go back.
I didn't go back. And that same guy said, look, you've been talking about doing this book. Tell ChatGPT to give you an outline of your book. Just tell what kind of book you want to write. I said, I'm writing a book called The Day Factor. It's based on this concept, and it gave me a whole outline. And then, which is basically the chapters from my book. So then I went by and said, help me break down chapter 1, and it gave me the whole outline of chapter 1. And then it basically started writing it out for me. So all I gotta do is just go in there and make it, like you said, Stuart, put it in my own
Right.
tone and voice. But essentially, it's written the book for me, and I just gotta go in there and add some stories and stuff like that.
Right. And
my son uses it for a science project. You know, it's amazing.
It's crazy. And I'm told that if you write something and load it into ChatGPT and say, learn my style, it will learn your writing style, and it will start, when it starts writing things back to you, it will come back in your style.
I'll tell it to write it in my own voice and style.
Yeah.
And based upon my conversation, because I talk to ChatGPT and have it talk about it, it'll do it in my style. And it will remember everything. So I'll ask it a set of question, kind of have nothing to do with the book. And I go, tell me about this subject. And she'll go, do you want to add this? Do you want to make this part of your book? So you remember, I call her she because the voice of the she. And she says, this you want to add to your book, Russell? And I go, no, it's just something totally different. But you start using it all and you'll be amazed.
You'll be amazed. It's going to be, it's crazy. And I need to start bringing the microphone out to you guys. Okay, we're running out of time. So we're going to go with one more question and then maybe one more after that if we make it quick. But
It's actually just a statement, but under here, there's also, you can explore more GPTs. So there's other things in here that are trending. There's other GPTs within ChatGPT that you can dive into.
okay, yeah, there's a whole lot of, once you start doing ChatGPTs, you'll start getting advertisements and stuff, you know, and they'll start telling you things like this. Okay, hopefully you guys got something out of tonight. I get something out of every one of these meetings that we do. Thanks for coming. Say again? Oh, and thank you guys for bringing your ideas, and Jared, Chris, and everybody else who popped in. Let's stick around and network. I'm gonna get some ice cream, I think, if I don't tell anybody.
Yeah.
That's Brian.
Absolutely.
That's my bedtime tonight.
Yeah.
See y'all next one.